Hi there, everybody. Welcome back to another Witchy book club. Let's see. I think my light is pretty good, but I didn't put any makeup on, so y'all upset if I put a little filter on? No, you won't be upset. That's not bad, right? That's pretty natural. Okay. That might have made my skin look worse, but that's okay. I didn't feel like doing myself up for today's live stream because I know you guys don't really care, and also I'm gonna be deep cleaning my bathroom after this, so I didn't think that it was very logical to like do myself up like I sometimes like to for these live streams and then go and like scrub my toilet and bathtub. So, anyways, happy Monday! I just dropped the book. Happy Monday! Welcome. Thank you all for clicking on this if you're watching the playback. Thank you to all of you who are rolling in for the live stream. Oh, I dropped the book. Oh, lordy, lordy. So, we are talking about color magic again today. This is our final live stream for Color Theory by Nina Ashby. We were supposed to have our live stream last week, but our roof was leaking, and we had our landlord bring somebody out to check the leak. And he came before the live stream, and then I was like, I don't know how long he's gonna be here, so I was gonna postpone the live stream until later in the day. And then he left, and I was like, okay, we're good. Then the guy called again and was like, I'm gonna come back in a few hours and fix the hole. And I was like, all right, well, I don't want to be live streaming when this guy is like pounding on the roof or like going in and out of the house and stuff. So I'm grateful for you guys for letting me postpone it until this week. But it has kind of like slowed my interest in the book down because it's been so long since I read the section, and color is always on my mind, but I definitely feel like from last live stream I had like a lot of like momentum and build up, and I've had a lot of things building in other areas of my life. So I'm not gonna lie, like this going into this live stream, I was really kind of feeling like I'm underprepared for topics and things like that. But I was just before I was gonna hit live, like I felt like I remembered like three different things that happened to me in the last week pertaining to color and how I feel about color, and like ideas that we could talk about on just like a basic level, because this book was really great for beginner topics and learning on color and everything, because it kind of hits everything. Hi, Laura. How are you? Good morning. It kind of hits everything, but it gives you like one paragraph of each thing. Like, there's not a whole lot to dive into, but what's nice is it kind of like spreads out all the information that you need where color could be used. And then if you're like, okay, I want to know more about this, then you can go and look at other resources about this. For example, the sections that we're going over today. Hi, Victoria. Hi, Taylor. I hope you guys are doing well today. How is everybody doing? Happy Monday. I have to get me coffee. I just got up. Mood. How is everyone? Yeah, how is everybody this morning? So the sections, like the chapters that we went over for the end of this book, like there was barely any reading. But it covers a lot of different topics and doesn't go very deep into any of them. But again, I think that this is, oh, you had better weekends. I'm sorry, your weekend was poorly. What poorly? Who am I friggin'? Am I British? What just happened? Coffee, all the brown and swirls of cream. Oh, I really want coffee. I already have my cup for this morning, so that's fine. But chapter 14, literally within the first 2 pages, it's like clairvoyance, ribbon reading, flower reading, card systems, and it's like a paragraph for each. So even though this book doesn't dive into really, really deep on any of these topics concerning color, it gives you a good breakdown and really makes you think about all of these different aspects to how you could use color, what is color, like the chakras and the and auras and the science of color and things like that. But yeah, I liked this book because it gave us just like a really blank slate for what we want to talk about ourselves. So there's a couple things. I'm just gonna let you guys warm up here and get in here and say hi, and I'm gonna be announcing the next book and when the next live stream is. So should I do that now? Should I wait a little bit? What should I do? What should I do, you guys? I posted in the Facebook group, and if you're not a part of the Facebook group, feel free to go over to Facebook. It's facebook.com/groups/Witchy Book Club. And I posted in there that I wanted the next book to be a fiction book. And you guys, and like, what are some recommendations? Because I don't want it to be a series. I wanted it to just be one and done so that we could cover the book, we could read it, we could go over it, and that we didn't feel like we had to keep doing the other books, or that, you know, if you wanted, like, if you didn't like it, or I don't know. I wanted it to be kind of a one and done. And so many people commented on that post, and I haven't gotten time to go through all of the posts and look at all of the books. So our next book after the one that we're doing next is going to be fiction, because I really want to spend time and go through all the recommendations that you guys gave me and really look into them and pick a good one for us, because I feel like if we do fiction on here, which we've done before, it really has to be done right. Like, it has to be a good one for everybody to do. I really do want it to just be a one and done. That just feels right, and things like that. So if you were excited about the next book being fiction, it's not. But the one after it will be fiction. I just needed a little bit more time to like look into each of the books you guys. I mean, if you go to that post, there was like a shitload that you guys recommended, which is amazing, because that means that you guys are interested in fiction, and we've done it before and I loved it. And it's been a while since we did Uprooted. So yeah, we will be doing fiction after this next book. But the next book for Witchy Book Club, and the live stream is not going to be until November 14th, which is a Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, because I am going out of town for a week for work for my Muggle job. There's a big exhibition in Chicago that we do every year. It's a lot of work, and so 4 weeks from now, on November 14th at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, is when we're going to start this book. I'll announce that a couple more times before the end of the live stream, and I'll put it in the Facebook group per usual. Now, I want to say, before I announce this book, I have skimmed through a lot of this book. I have tried to look up reviews because I was very apprehensive about doing this book. However, I feel as though it's going to be similar to how I feel about this book, whereas it is going to be a good blank slate canvas for us to delve into the topics and discussions on our own. But I don't know if I'm really going to click, or if we're really going to click with every single word that's in this book. Hear me out. I don't want to like turn you off to it before we start, but I am really excited to talk about this and kind of read this book. So the book is drumroll, The Lightworker's Guide to the Astral Realm by Sahvanna Arienta. I believe that's how you say the author's name. Why I'm picking this book, I'm super excited, is because one, I have gotten a lot better at my meditation practice and my yoga yoga practice in the past few weeks. I feel like we went from something like color, and I really am craving going into something really a deeper spiritual conscious topic. You know, color is such a practical, easy, it is spiritual and it is deep and it is connective, but I wanted to take a 180 and really go and dive into something that I connect a lot with, that I've had some crazy experiences with, and I feel like I've shared them on my channel before, but I think it would be nice to be in a space like Witchy Book Club and hear your guys' astral stories, or, you know, what you want to learn about this. However, leafing through this particular book, there's certain things that I read that I was like, this might be problematic for certain things. So I want us to dive into this book. I want us to really invest in this topic, in this genre, in this like mindset around the astral realms, and kind of learning about it through this book. But I want us to be really open and just use this as like a tool, like a blank slate, okay? And the other thing is that I really wanted to pick this book because if you go on YouTube, somebody has like the audio version. I'm pretty sure I found it, And it's, so if you don't want to buy the book, or if you do want to buy the book but you also want to listen to it, or whatever, you bought the book and you didn't read the section in time, there is audio on YouTube that you can listen to the book, and it's like broken down by chapters. If you search Lightworker's Guide to the Astral Realm, it will come up. So you could listen to it, and it's on Audible, I think. So there was a lot of different ways that people could get this book if they wanted to still read it or listen to it and be a part of the discussion. And maybe people haven't wanted to do that in the past with actually getting the book, that they like to show up here, and that's fine too. But there was a lot more options with this book. So this is our next book, Lightworker's Guide to the Astral Realm. This is a Red Wheel Wiser published book. So if you wanted to get it from the actual publishing website, you can go to Red Wheel Wiser, search that on Google and go on there. They have given me codes before. Currently I think my code is like expired. Maybe I'll try to email them and see. But the thing about audiobooks on YouTube is that they seem to disappear fast. So if you can't find it on YouTube, listen to it ASAP. Yeah, that's a good thing. I've never seen that before. So, and I didn't look to see when it was like uploaded. But I was trying to search like reviews, or I want to make sure the books that we're getting into aren't like slammed with horrible reviews, and then I'm like, going into this and everyone's like, that's problematic. You know what I mean? But there wasn't a lot on this. I feel like there wasn't any bad reviews and there wasn't very many good reviews. So I think this is going to be kind of cool for us to determine on our own how we feel about the book, but also just, again, use it as a blank slate and a blank tool to kind of open up this discussion and think deeper about the astral realms and what that means to us and things. And so some of the chapters in here, I really think we're going to break this into 3 parts too, because that's how, so it's going to be probably 3 live streams for this, because there's 3 parts. Part 1 is the New Age Soul Traveler, Part 2 is the realms, and Part 3 is the beginning of the realms, or the beings of the realms. So there's a lot of stuff in here that's really, I feel like it's gonna lead to really great discussions. So this is our next book. And then the book after this will be fiction, but I really want to go through that post and look at everything that you all suggested in the Facebook group. So this is our next book. I'm really excited. The first live stream will be for part 1, which is like 27 pages. Nothing, right? You can see like in the beginning, it'll be part 1. We'll do part 1 on one live stream, part 2 on another, and part 3. And then we'll be done with the book and we'll be good to go. I was thinking about breaking this up into 2 parts, but it's so easily already into 3 parts that I feel like, why not just do 3 parts? So November 14th, we'll be going and starting part 1 of the Lightworker's Guide to the Astral Realm. Again, this is the author's name, and I will post this in the Facebook group. Okay, that's enough of that. I hope you guys are excited. I'm very excited. I think that it's just going to lead to like really deep conscious talk and things like that. And my practice with meditating and breathing and kind of releasing. And, there's been a few instances lately in which I felt my body kind of one place, and my energy body kind of like starting to hover. And I'm like, wow, I haven't felt that in so long. I haven't astral projected, or I haven't felt like this grounded or this kind of rooted where my energy is kind of coming out of me in a really long time, and I think it would be really cool to talk about. So yeah, right, yes, Marge, yes, correct. Hi Solaria, how are you? Good morning, Jess. If I missed you and I didn't say hi, I'm so sorry, but hello, welcome. So that is the next book, and I'm really, really pumped about it. I can't wait to hear your guys' experiences if you and what you think about some of the topics that are in there. But I will warn you, some of it I'm already skimming through and I'm like, I wonder how that's gonna go. But I think we'll do well with it. So I was saying there wasn't that many people when I said this before, so I'm going to say this again, and I think that we all kind of collectively I am thinking on the same page with this, that you just finished the Green Witch, right? No, no, hun. We did that like a year ago. We did that a year ago. But all of the playbacks for the Witchy Book Club is up, so maybe we finished it this time last year. Um, yeah, I need to get the color therapy book. It'll help with my runic. Oh, I lost the comment. Sorry. Yeah. So what I was saying about this book, like since this is the finale, my overall with this book was that it was great for what. Yeah, you watched an old video then, but that's fine. That's why I leave them up is because maybe somebody has that book and they want to do they want to be a part of like the discussions and stuff, but I did it before, and why take those down when somebody might just now have gotten that book and searched YouTube and found it, and like they can still think and talk about, even though they can't like in real time have those discussions, they can feel like they're learning that book in a different way. And I, as much as people hate the Green Witch book, and as much as like there was so many like negative comments and videos that came out after we did our live stream about Green Witch, as much as that book like people didn't like for multiple reasons that I understand, I thought it was such a good book for us to start this on. I found you through that Green Witch book video. Thank you so much for letting me know that. It's very helpful. And if you search my top videos, it's like I think it's 2 of my bullet journal videos, and then like maybe like a couple deck unboxings, and then the Green Witch video. So it's like people like that book. People buy that book, and that's part of the problem is the aesthetic value of that book. But I just feel like the homework that we did, the discussions that we had with that book, it was so good. It was so good. And that's what like kept me it inspired me to keep going with this, because I was like, wow, this is really cool. Like just even this basic ass like topics and basic ass book, like people are like wanting to talk, people are wanting to share and like think about things in a new way, and that was just super cool. So it's totally up there. And in fact, if you go to my channel, there's like a playlist that I have of all of the, I try to put them in there. I guess maybe I might have forgotten some along the way, but well, if you just search Witchy Book Club on YouTube, I'm sure all of them come up, but there should be a playlist on my channel where you can go back and there's all of the books and all of the live streams that we've done. So you might want to skim through and be like, ooh, that book looks cool. And you could probably go through, get the book, do it, and go and watch all the live streams just like you did, just like people did, in real time. But we've already covered those books. So anyways, yeah, so that's there for you. My house is creaking a lot and it's kind of putting me on edge because I turned the heat on for the first time because it's really cold out. And oh, whoa. But Skylar texted me the other day and was like, I swear I thought you were home. And I was hearing things downstairs and like Phoebe was in her crate or whatever he said. And he's like, and I was confident you were here, and I came downstairs and no one was here. And I was like, oh shit. It's just getting like even more and more. So Witchy Book Club. Okay, yes. So hi Anna. Okay, watch old videos. Yeah. So about this book in the finale and like thoughts. This book is, and this is not any disrespect to Nina Ashby, this is a basic ass book. Like you're not going to learn deep things. You're not going to, your girl loves Witchy Book Club. Literally. Literally. I think it's because it's like I get so charged when I do these live streams that I just become like very buzzed with energy, and maybe I just pick up on things or like activate things in certain rooms. But this is a basic ass book, but that's good. That's fine. That's why I picked this, because I have multiple color magic or color medicine or color like theory books that I had gotten and read, and I was like, is this the book that we would do for Witchy Book Club? Like, is this it? Like, what's the one I want to do a color as a topic? But all of these seem like they're to this or to that. And this one is so basic. Like, it's literally everything that you can think about with color and like a paragraph about each. So if there's a topic or something that you are interested in, it just gives you just enough, and then you go and you can like try and find a book specific with lots of deeper meaning or deeper information about it, you know? And like I was saying, like for the rest of the book, which is the sections that you know, that we were covering today that I assigned, was like 14 color divination. I was saying that if you turn the page, the first 2 pages, like look, there's just a little paragraph for each, and it covers clairvoyance, ribbon reading, flower reading, card systems, you know, like it's just a little bit about everything. And so it's not good, it's not bad, it just opened up our minds to thinking about color and all of the things that color influences. So that's what I'm really grateful about this book. But if you want to learn like deep things about color, this isn't it, but it was good for us and I'm glad we did it. So are you doing a live on a certain day or time I should know of? So the next live stream for the next book is going to be November 14th at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to be covering, there's 3 parts to this book. It's in the front, you'll see. And we're going to be covering part 1. And I will post that in the Facebook group as well. Victoria says, I definitely got to get my hands on the next book. I've been wanting a good book on astral projection. She does have live feeds on Monday at 10 a.m. Thank you. Yeah, so I'm super excited about that book, even if it's like, we might not agree with everything. I think it's going to be cool. So I was thinking about color today because I was also saying that since so much time has passed and we were supposed to be doing the live stream last week, and then I had a leak in my roof, and so we postponed it today. I do feel this like kind of like sputtered out, and I'm kind of upset that it did that, and I apologize. But it is what it is. But I still have been color is always on my mind, and I was thinking a lot last night before I was going to bed about just a bunch of stuff. My mind has been really like healthy and clear the last day or two, and I'm really grateful for that. But I had this like vision of a woman giving birth, right? And she was down on all fours, and she had paper and like charcoal, and then she had like what looked like the Color Mage Oracle cards, but like maybe just like sheets of paper with a bunch of color, almost like a fan deck, but each color had its own like card or like piece of paper. And like each contraction she was having, she was like breathing, but also like scribbling on the paper with charcoal and kind of like using like art to like breathe through the contractions. I have no idea. My mind was just like free and going, and I was like trying to go to sleep, and I was just letting my mind do whatever it wanted, and it didn't feel like forced thought. It felt like almost like a meditative transition into sleep. And these are the things I was seeing, was like a woman on all fours in the hospital giving birth and having contractions and like using charcoal to like just flow, right? And then I saw her kind of taking the pieces of color and like making color palettes, right? With making the color palettes with colors. So like as she's having a contraction, she's trying to breathe and like pull different colors and like put them together, or using the color as ways to describe the waves of the contractions. So to like connect more with the pain and to go into it and like accept it, she was like taking the colors that the contractions felt like and kind of making a story out of them. I know that is like insane to say out loud, but like my mind does weird shit like that. I'm sure your guys does too. I'm not like I don't know. I just feel like that would be such a wonderful I've never gone through labor and I've never had pain, so maybe that would be like insanely impossible to do when you're having a bad contraction. But to be able to use color in that way of healing or connecting to what's happening, I feel like would be really interesting to experience or to watch somebody do. And to be able to use color like that as a means to kind of like translate what the pain or the experiences that you're going through. I think it would also be really interesting to like use that in other instances. So take, instead of somebody having, contractions, do maybe somebody who's having like open brain, like brain surgery, like, and they have to be conscious or whatever. Being able to like look at colors and maybe like say what colors they want to pick to put together. I don't know. That vision of that woman doing that made me think about how you could take that and translate it into so many other different ways to connect, or like even getting a tattoo, right? Like, what if you were going in for a really painful tattoo and you really couldn't move that much, but you could at least move like your finger or maybe one of your hands or something, and you could just touch the colors, or you could move the colors around, and you could you could put the colors together and kind of hold on to them, and imagine like a scenery with those colors in them. There's so many different things that you could do in that sense to connect a color during something that could be traumatic, and you could turn it into like a really interesting, I don't know, experience. You guys have been like saying a lot, so I'm going back up. Samantha, I really loved Happier at Home, Gretchen Rubin. The audiobook still might be on YouTube. Oh, cool. Yeah. I remember we did that book. Wow. We've actually done a lot of books. That's awesome. Yes, I noticed Aries and Red. What? It's weird on Libra, at least for me. It's an air sign, whereas blue is associated with water. Oh. Yeah. I think you guys are talking about. Let me go back up. Does anyone notice how certain signs are attracted to colors? Like Libras love blue. Yeah, so there's a lot. This is something that this is something that kind of bothers me, and it shouldn't, because it's just me and my ego and thinking that like I know what the signs colors are, but which is part of the reason why I did the watercolor series that I did. And maybe I should go get the stickers and show you guys, but maybe that's going to be boring for you. But part of the reason why I wanted to do that was because I have a very distinctive connection to each of the zodiac signs and what colors I feel like represent them energetically. And I know that when you look up in like astrology books and stuff, like if I was to get most astrology books, the colors that I associate for the signs, I would say maybe like 3/4 of those would be different than what I associate to them. And that's okay. That's because I connect to certain colors differently than other people do. But to say that like this sign has to be this color, it doesn't really work well for me. So it's kind of, because again, everybody associates the colors in different ways. There is general overview of like what colors tend to give off certain vibrations and energy and things like that. But remember when we did in the last live stream that little like experiment where we did for 2 minutes, we pulled a color and then everybody had to like automatic write, sorry my legs are falling asleep, automatic write what they felt about those colors, and like everybody got different things. So to say that each signs are, one color is difficult, especially because I like to view the signs or the planets as magnets, and at any given moment your magnet can be on one end of the spectrum or the other. And what I mean by that is not like good nor bad, but like challenging and helpful or things like that, but it just depends on what circumstance you're in with it. But like I can see Taurus on one end of the spectrum is like a muddy brown, dragging their heels in the dirt, and stubborn and rooted and earthy and all of these things. Slow moving. And then on another end of the spectrum, I can see it very like light pink and very Venus and very like reds and you know, because it's ruled by Venus, and very like feminine and things like that. But at its true core, I really see Taurus as a pretty grass green, because I feel like that's a pretty good, you know, in between of like the heart chakra and Venus, but also the very earthy and grounded and slow moving and the all this end of stuff. Like I see Taurus as like green, money, material possessions. It's like a grass green, which is what started and led me into making that watercolor series of the zodiac, is because I wanted to connect what I felt like was the color for each of the signs. I'm going down now. Regarding giving birth, you could probably draw while going through the contractions, but you have to change how you view childbirth. If you see it as sterile, it'll be painful. Llewellyn has the most awesome songs for color CD, and it really sounds like colors. Ooh, cool. If you see it as sacred and divine and just let go of control, you could draw like you described. With giving birth, I was way behind, beyond the point of using colors. I'm a Libra and I love blue. Same. Stickers, get them please. Okay, Emmy, I'll go get them. I love every shade of blue. I'm not saying that signs are specific colors. I just notice attraction between signs and certain colors. I see what you're saying. Well, I just had that big talk then, and yeah. That is interesting. So, like, do you think maybe the signs are attracted to certain colors because you think it connects to them, or maybe because they intuitively think that they need to have more of that energy to balance them out? So they like intuitively pick colors to help balance or calm or kind of even out the energy that's inside of them. I would think it would be more so that they're drawn to the colors that they feel like they already connect to, you know? I believe the attraction for blue has to do with the communication. Aren't air signs supposed to be great at communicating? Excuse me. It's okay, Sammy. Okay. I'm trying to. Sorry. I really like where you're going with this, but I'm having a hard time staying where you guys are at in the comments. I believe the attraction for blue has to do with the communication. Aren't we air signs supposed to be great at communication? I mean, in theory, you guys are supposed to be great at communication. I would say air signs is more, yes, it's communication. I would say it's more of processing information. So that could be internally or externally, right? I would say air signs is just on a basic level communication, but more so processing information from one, like point A to point B or whatever, right? So that could mean like Aquarius is very much like an inventor, or like the mind, or like thinking and ideas, and like the light bulb effect, or the lightning bolt strikes and like aha, like Aquarius is very much the aha moments. But yeah, they're able to translate that information from here into something. So like inventing something, or standing up for something, or talking about something, or whatever it is. I would say Gemini is very much mind to mouth and just word vomit. They're the actual communicating air sign. I would say Libra is very much words, as far as like writing or translating it into like music or poetry or things like that. All the signs have these abilities. I'm just saying, like, for air signs, you know, communication can mean so many different things. It doesn't have to just mean speaking. It could mean so many different things. Like, how are you talking to yourself in your head? What are the things that you're telling yourself? What are the stories that you tell yourself? Or what are you communicating with, like, your body language? What are your actions saying? Communication can be so many different things. That's interesting just on a basic level. Let me go get my stickers. I feel like I'm not trying to like promo my stickers, but I think that this could be an interesting to see what you guys think about what I chose and things like that. So hold on one second. So I guess this is kind of promo, but I really genuinely don't mean it to be that way. If you guys are interested in getting my stickers, you can go to my website. It's samanthamenzo.com, and there's a little tab that says stickers. But just know that I genuinely am not doing this to just promo myself, but if we're talking about it, I might as well. But I think that this is, like, this genuinely was one of the reasons why I did this little watercolor series, was because I just wanted to associate or to express how I connected to each sign and planet through color. And I just did one of these, I think I started with Aries, and I was like, I just want to feel like red blood type paint colors, or like fiery red on a piece of paper with Aries symbol on it, right? So this is Aries, and then I was like, oh, I want to incorporate like a whole bunch of other stuff, but we don't, I'll explain this, but this is just for the color, right? We're just talking about this for color. Ooh, it's showing up a little different. Wow, that looks so fucking cool. So each of the stickers have the elemental symbol in it. So this is fire, right? This triangle here represents fire. This is the planetary glyph associated with Aries, which is Mars, right here. So each of them have the elemental, the planet, and this is the glyph for Aries, right? And then the number 1 down here, because it rules the first house in the natal chart. That's what all of that symbol means. But the color and like the way that I put the color on there was very much like Aries is associated with action and blood and war and passions and sex and kind of movement, and that flame, that spark. It's like that match. It's like that wildfire. So I really wanted this to almost feel like a blood stain. It's very primal. It's very masculine. It's very dominant. It's very like forward, like head forward. Like I'm going, like it's me. And that might sound bad to a lot of people. I actually love Aries energy if it's used well. I love all the signs, but it sounds one of the worst when you describe it. But I really wanted this to feel like a little bit like fire in here and light in here. But for the most part, I wanted it to be like really dark red. In fact, it's a little darker than what this is showing on camera. And I took and like on the original watercolor, I like splattered red around it too to like flick like blood. But when I made the stickers, it kind of like messed with it, so I kind of got rid of those. But using color to express, I think this is one of the ones that if I had to say what color would everybody associate with Aries, I think almost everyone would be like, oh yeah, red. Like everybody kind of collectively knows that that's what's associated with Aries, whether you agree with it or not. That's it's talked about a lot, you know? Should I keep going? I feel like this is, I don't know, very like narcissistic of me, I guess. Being a Libra is interesting. We're represented by scales instead of a person or animal. We're very much in our heads a lot. Yeah, I love, go on please. Emmy. Yes, okay, thanks walking my path. Yeah, Victoria, you are. Thank you, Anna. I'm sorry, I'm gonna sneeze again. Woo! I turned on the heat, so it's like all of the dust bunnies are surfacing, which is why I wanna, why does it keep doing that? Let me see, let me see if I take that. Ugh, honey child. Took that little filter off. Not much of a difference, but I look sickly. Okay, anyways, So we already talked about Taurus and the different polarities of Taurus and how I feel like because it's ruled by Venus, um, how I can see it being very much the heart chakra. It's very much about love and comforts and security and money and material possessions and relationships and love. So that's Venus. It's very feminine. It's very yin energy. It's very drawing in. It's the first feminine around the wheel, whereas Aries is like the first masculine around the wheel. So this, I really wanted this to feel like a bull standing in a field of grass, grazing, because that is the two polarities of Taurus, right? I wanted you to feel both sides. A bull is gentle and slow and calm and powerful, but it's very much just gonna graze in the grass and enjoy life and take in the food, and just it minds its own business until you piss it off or until you try and rush it, and then it's like, no, I'm digging my little bull feet in the grass. And so, but this very clean, pure, healthy, fresh green color. And so the way that I designed the splatter too was like a little bit of a tail here and just kind of let the watercolor flow wherever it needed to, but I wanted to make sure that it felt like there was some grass here, right? So we have the elemental symbol of Earth here, dum, dum, dum. And then we have Venus, which is the planet that rules it. This right here is the glyph for Taurus, dum, dum, dum. And then the 2, which is the second house in the natal chart, which is ruled for Taurus, is associated with Taurus energy. With that fresh, clean, green heart chakra, the earthy color, but you can take and associate with Taurus with so many other different things. But this to me, if I had to pin Taurus down in a neutral space, this is money, material possessions, earth, heart chakra, this green. Again, I'm not right or wrong. This is just why I was like thinking about this, and this is why I was like, I need to figure out what each of these signs are associated with. So then we have, God, this feels so narcissistic. I'm so sorry. We're so like promo-y. I swear this is not. I just think it's cool to talk about color. Okay, I'm gonna probably have to reassure myself after every sign, so it's fine. Then we have Gemini. I went back and forth on the color associated with Gemini because often Gemini is associated with like yellows or very high, like fluttery butterfly, like da 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 da, like that sign and that color. However, yellow gets very, very jumbled to me with the sun, and like fiery color. So I really wanted to keep it on a mental level and an airy level because the first 4 signs in the zodiac to me are the most extreme of all of the elements or all of the energies, and then it keeps building as it keeps progressing and gets a little bit more complicated and in-depth the further it goes around. And so for Gemini, I really wanted it to be like a true blue, and I really wanted it to feel like a cloud, and I wanted it to be like right in this headspace, right? So because a lot of the times that's where I feel like Gemini energy manifests is just right here. Like it's in the head, it's in the eyes, it's in the ears, it's in the nose, the mouth, the throat. It's like all of these like places that we take in information. We see and we process information, and we think and then we hear, and then we, are trying to speak, and then it's coming from our throat. Like I really wanted it to just feel like very staticky, but almost like energy of I'm up here all the time, flighty, flaky, whatever you want to say, but I'm always constantly processing information and dumping it through this like cloud of blue, just clear communication. And so you can see this is the element for air. The 3 up here is for the 3rd house. air here, sorry. And then the Gemini symbol. And then Mercury right here, which is the planet that rules Gemini. I'm trying to get it to focus, but it wants to focus on my face. So that's Gemini. I really wanted it to be a blue, like a true blue. Okay, yeah, I like to know why you see the color that you do for each sign. I agree with Taurus one completely. My husband is a muddy green. I can get behind the green for Taurus. That's awesome. But I did doubt for a second because a lot of the times people say, because it's very like buzzy energy for Gemini. But I had so many other signs that I connected to yellow or orange kind of thing, and I didn't want to I didn't want there to be, I wanted it to be clearly separated. So, the next one is Cancer. Now, the stickers versus the regular watercolor did come out a little bit more dark blue than the original watercolor, but I ended up still liking the sticker. But originally, the watercolor for this one, I guess is translating really well on camera, is much more like turquoisey, right? Sorry, the heat is really kicking into my sinuses here. So this is Cancer. Cancer is associated with the crab, and I feel multiple different ways about Cancer energy and associating with colors because it is a very nurturing and motherly and emotional and sensitive sign. So it's very watery. It's the first water sign that you see. But also they have such a hard crabby shell. And a lot of the times it can go back and forth between being like closed off, crabby, kind of like in my shell, defensive, or very emotional and watery and connective and things like that. So I wanted you to feel a little bit of that crab shell in here, which is why I did like a light turquoise color. And then I placed a little bit in here this red, and I almost did it sort of like in like a shape of a crab shell. So that's where the color came like that. For that, I wanted it to feel almost like the color just protected the whole thing for the most part. Like I wanted it to just barely go on the outside of the design. I really did put like a lot of thought into these. I know the color is changing on this live stream. And then so this is the water element sign, number 4 for the 4th part of the natal chart. This is the sign of Cancer here. And then the moon is the planet. That's in astrology, we consider the moon a planet. The planet that rules Cancer. And I wanted to do half moon so you really knew it was a moon, but the way I set it up, I wanted it to feel almost like a crab claw. I really wanted that to signify there. And because it's the moon and I feel like it's such a mystical, underrated mystical energy associated with Cancer, I did color in, and it's hard to see it on the live stream, but you can see definitely on the sticker that I used metallic silver paint for the moon. So it definitely does give it a little bit more of like a mystical energy. So there's a lot going on with Cancer, but I felt like to translate this into color, I needed to do that. And I feel like I really love how Cancer came out. It's one of my favorite ones. Thank you so much. You guys are so nice for like wanting to hear me talk about this. My daughter's rising is Cancer, and she is such a mommy's grandma girl. She loves turquoise and teal. The stickers are available on SamanthaMenzo.com. No, that's so sweet, and definitely like textbook shit for Cancer, and I love it. It's such a gift. Thank you so much, Anna. Okay, so then Leo, right? Leo felt to me like I wanted it to feel like the Sun card. I wanted it to just radiate. I love hearing an artist reasoning for colors, placement, layout. Oh my god, okay, great. Thank you so much. Because I really have wanted to talk about this for so long. But I just felt like, does anybody fucking care about this? So Leo is, I wanted it to feel, you know, a lot of people are like, Leos are very dramatic. Leos always want attention. And yeah, they do. Okay, I'm not gonna fucking lie. They want attention. They want to be seen. They want to be heard. They want to be validated. They're shining. They're happy, but they're also like joyous and they know how to have fun and they're creative and they're outgoing and they're the ones that like bring people out and they command a room whether they want to or not. Like all eyes on them. Most of the time they want it. But sometimes they don't want it and they can't help it. They're just such like an outward it's such a shining color that I wanted it to feel like a lion's mane because that's what's associated with Leo, and I really wanted it to feel like a shining sun too. So thank you so much walking my path. So I wanted it to mostly be yellow, right? And so what I love I'm pretty sure you could talk about a bird outside your house and we would care. So yes, we like hearing about your art and things you're passionate about. Thank you so much, Jess. That is the sweetest thing ever. If I wasn't curious about color and sign association attraction, I wouldn't have said anything. Okay, great. Thank you, you guys. Needed the validation. I do have Leo on my chart too, okay? But I love how all of them came out, but like I barely had to do anything for Leo. Like I just put the color down and made sure that it felt expansive. So if you look at all the others, like the color does bleed out, but see how small the sign is, but how big the color expands around it. I feel like that was a great representation for Leo because even if they don't want to, their energy is so palpable and so happy and so bright, and they shine so much brighter than they realize. And then I just put a little bit of orange in here because I felt like I really wanted to root it in like a little bit more fire and not just like light. But hold on, I want it to focus. What I love about the glyph for Leo is that it looks like a lion's tail. It flicks out like a lion's tail. So this is the glyph for Leo. It might be showing up backwards for you guys, but you get the point. And then this little dot in here, this is the glyph for the sun. So I kind of incorporated the planet and the glyph for Leo to the same thing. But I wanted to keep this real simple because I wanted the color to translate most of what I was trying to say. And then again, we have the element of fire here. And then the number 5 because it rules the 5th house in the natal chart. Leo felt like I couldn't do yellow for Gemini or something like it would say normally in textbooks. Most textbooks or associations that you'll look up for Gemini won't say blue. It'll say like yellow or it'll say something like that. And as I was laying each of the signs out, this just felt right. I love how this came out. Okay. Virgo. I feel like aesthetically, this is one of the least pleasing ones, but connection-wise, this one is on point for how I associate with Virgo energy, and I struggle with that a little bit. I was like, I don't think people are actually going to want to buy this one, but how I think of Virgo energy and what I did with it, I was like, I have to, like, this makes sense to me. So Virgo is a very methodical, it's a very service-oriented, it's a very caregiver, it's very ritualistic, it's very organized, it's very compartmentalizing, it's very, it's ruled by Mercury, so it's an airy sign, but it's a earth sign. So I wanted to incorporate, so this one is Virgo, right? I wanted very neutral colors, because it's very plain Jane, it's very sterile of a sign, it's like known as the Virgin, but I wanted to associate with the service, like the military is often things like the military because it's very orderly. A lot of Virgo energy has to do with giving service, like serving your country, so I kind of wanted camo colors, but I also wanted it to feel sort of like one clean white slate, like something was being cleaned, right? But it just left like one streak of color, and I wanted it to be very organized and very compartmentalized, so it's like pushed down to one side of the bottom of the sticker. So this is Earth right here, Earth, and then Mercury, again, it's ruled by Mercury. And then I made it orderly and put the sign of Virgo inside of Mercury. So everything kind of had its own place, and that there was this negative minimal space up at the top. And then the number 6 is where it's ruled. So even though together this might look like diarrhea, it like associated to me like neutral colored scrubs for nurses, or keeping things plain and simple. Like they like to eat plain foods. They don't like their foods to touch. They want everything to be as clean and and easy as possible. But they're also in very much a service. I wanted it to feel like just one swipe of color and that's it. And that's literally what I did with the brush. So even though you can see like a bunch of other colors in there, what I did was I took a fat, like straight edged brush, and I dipped it in the water, but I just kept dipping little bits of the watercolor in there, and I stroked a little bit on a test piece of paper, and then in one shot I just went like that, and then I was like, that's it. Whatever it looks like, that's what it is. And I love the way it came out. But yeah, so that's why I did. And earthy, I wanted it to be earthy colors. But also, just like, that's another thing I want to point out, because Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo, I wanted them to feel like they had some continuity together. So how this one has just one section going this way, I wanted Virgo to feel the same thing as well, so that they have some sort of similarities to each other, because even though they're different elemental signs, they're ruled by the same planet, and I wanted it to feel cohesive in that way. Let me see what you guys are saying in case you're like over this. My sign is next. I'm a happy person. Hi from South Africa. Virgo is correct. I'm Virgo. Spent 12 years in the Royal Navy. No nonsense. Cool. Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, so that is Virgo. And even though, I think a lot of people are like, oh, my color is not like pretty. Like Virgo is pretty in a natural. Now over it. Okay. All right. Now, because I did your sign, we're like, okay, we can move on. We can just talk about something else. I saw my sign. But yeah, Virgo's beautiful because it doesn't try to be beautiful. It's just beautiful because it's natural, and it's helpful, and it's clean, and it's simple, and that's why Virgo is attractive. Okay. The next one is Libra. I had so much fun with Libra. I was like, oh man, what am I gonna do for Libra? And then I was like, oh, this for sure. So Venus also rules. Venus also rules Libra. Sorry, I just blanked out for a second. I really wanted Libra to feel. I wanted to translate the passiveness, the peacefulness, the gentleness that Venus encompasses with Libra. They're the poets, they're the romantics, they're the dreamy, wordy communicators. It's peace at any cost. It's like very much temperance or justice card, although justice card is like the harsher side of Libra. I feel like a lot of the times Libra is so just very passive, right? Not always, but to translate that with color, I really wanted to connect to the Venus-y parts, right? I really wanted it to feel like the heart chakra, but I wanted calm. I wanted peaceful, and I wanted like, let's all get along. Like, let's just like all talk this through. So I made a very much feminine, gentle lavender and pinks. So here is the air sign. And then we have Venus incorporated with here. And then actually the glyph for Libra is down here. I really wanted Libra to be symmetrical with the design. So take the color away, and if you split this down the middle, it is the same on this side as it is on this side. I really wanted it to be balanced and symmetrical. However, I know a lot of the times Libra is balanced and associated with balance. However, y'all Libras, if you have Libra energy, don't normally always have balance. It's almost always your goal to achieve balance or to kind of learn what balance is, right? But that is what is associated with it. I wanted it feel like poetic. I wanted it to feel very gentle and caring and peaceful and compassionate, because compassion is like a big Libra sign for me. So very, very light and calm. And then I almost wanted this to feel like angel wings. I know I'm like really talking up Libra. Y'all have your problems too. But I just really wanted to translate feminine, heart chakra, Venus-y vibes for Libra. And so I wanted to drop some darker self-care, self-love, kind of lighter pinks up at the corners and almost make it look like aesthetic shoulder pads on the design of this. And I just kind of wanted it to blob out naturally like it needed to, you know? So that's Libra. I love the colors of this. So I just feel like aesthetically this is one of the most pleasing looking ones. And I really like lavenders and pinks, so I'm pretty happy with how that came out. But it was important for me to keep that sign, the design of the ink part to be very symmetrical and balanced evenly on each side. And I worked really hard. I had a couple different ways I wanted to incorporate the Libra glyph. Like, if you don't look close enough, you might not even realize that the Libra glyph is like right here. And I thought about, I had erased this at one point so that you could see it better, but then it made the triangle incomplete. Like, I tried many different ways to set that Libra one up, and that one just felt right. Okay, let me go back and see what you guys are talking about with the Libra. Always in the clouds. Oh yes, injustice. Oh yes, thank you, walking my path. That's so Libra. I agree with the color scheme. Are you a dreamy girl? Made for me, yes, depend on what you mean by dreamy. Libras are great at problem solving, usually for others, but really great at it. Yeah, but ask them to make a decision. Not so good at problem solving then. But yeah, I agree. They're really great problem solving when it comes to other people. I'm in love. I'm all love and peace until I feel that injustice has been done. Right. And there, like I said, with each of these, there's so much polar. Oh, no decisions, please. Imagine controlling your thoughts rather than logic. Love that. So yeah, I mean, there's always positive. Like, just think of these as like the basics for your magnets, and then they can polarize at any moment if they need to access different facets of what they encompass, but at like a general level, as blank slate and neutral as I could get with each of these energies and what they are and what they represent. That's what I tried to go with. Did you draw the glyph first and then do the watercolor, or vice versa? Yes. I sketched out in pencil all of the designs, but I did them each one at a time. And then when I got to like the last 4, I did all of those at once. Because at that point I had kind of like a good system going. But I did pencil, and then I drew it out in pencil on the watercolor paper, and then I did the watercolor, and then I went back and inked over it, because with the watercolor I didn't want to put the ink down and then do the watercolor and have any of the black ink spread into the color. But yeah, I know what you're saying, like what was my process for designing them. I designed the actual design of it and then put the color where I needed to, which is how I knew with like Gemini where I wanted to put that cloud, and things like that. But I put the ink over the top of the pencil after the watercolor because I didn't want the black to bleed into it. Scorpio. I love Scorpio. I was super excited, and when I started the series, I was like, oh, I know what Scorpio is going to be for me. And most people would think black. However, I wanted to give a little bit more depth, and that doesn't seem right. I wanted to give a little bit more depth to Pluto and to Scorpio than just black. Because yes, black is really great and is associated with Scorpio, but I knew that the ink would already translate to black, and I couldn't do black on the black ink. I did, however, think about doing black and then going over it with like a white gel pen. However, it just didn't feel right to me. So I went for a very mysterious, very magical, very sexual, very intense, and Plutonian energy to me, which was like a deep, deep, deep purple, a vibrant purple. I really wanted this, and this might not seem like a deep purple, but like against any of the other stickers, this is dark, right? Now, I wanted this to feel very cosmic. I wanted this to feel very galaxy almost, because Pluto is such an anchor of intense transformative energy in the solar system, and it's so far out there. But and Pluto and Scorpio is such a mysterious sign that I really just wanted to feel like a universe, right? So we have the water symbol for element here. We have the number 8 for the 8th house in the natal chart. Here is our Scorpio system at the bottom. I wanted to place it here because Scorpio rules the genitalia and the reproductive systems. And so I almost wanted to think about this as like the V of the crotch. I know that seems crazy, but like that's where I wanted this to be placed, right here by the reproductive area, was like the crotch, like where the hips come together, whether it's male or female. This is where, you know, the ovaries are, where the penis is, whatever. Like I wanted this to be right here. I'm like centrally like rubbing in circles around that area. Hold on, I dropped it. The sticker's like, get me out of here. She's touching me weird. Hold on. Okay. And then I wanted to feel the very power and weight and the polarities of Scorpio. So I made Pluto's glyph up here really dominant and large. Like it's really heavy up top here. Almost feels like a crown on top of Pluto, or on top of like the elemental symbol. And I wanted it to feel like there was a shield on one side of color, like a wall. Like you have to pass the right way before you can get into the lighter side over here. But it is light and emotional and flowing. And I just wanted the color to kind of do what it needed to around here. So that is Scorpio. I love this purple. It's like, it's commanding, right? And that's Scorpio energy to me, is commanding and mysterious and very intense. So I'm super happy with Scorpio. I love your stickers so much thought and purpose behind the designs. V of the crotch, nailed it. Thank you. Yeah, so I encourage you guys to think about color in this way. If not the astrological signs, then just like whatever you want, and think about, even if you're not an artist, like think about how, I feel like I want to be Scorpio, but so not. My moon is in the 8th house of Scorpio, as well as my Venus. So even though I don't have Scorpio in a big placement, like I have Scorpio energy for sure. And I'm dating a Scorpio, so that is enough as it is. But yeah, Scorpio is, as much as it sounds appealing to be, you know, mysterious and dark and intense and magical and things like that, you know, that is a weight. There's challenges, and there is you know, positive things to each of the signs. And I feel like we all want what we don't have, kind of thing. So yeah, it is challenging. It is challenging. Everyone's like, no, don't wish you were a Scorpio. Oh no, you don't. Trust me, it can be a challenge. It is challenging. But like, it's very transformative, and it does hold a lot of power and a whole lot of weight. But that could be a lot to bear, you know? So it's just the way you look at it. It's just, it all has their pros and cons. Sagittarius was important to me, and probably the hardest one for me to design. I had really had in my mind for the fire signs, which is Aries, Leo, and Sag, to have a cohesive color palette together. So when I stuck them together, they were all very fire colors. So we have Aries, and I wanted them all to be different. I didn't want to like redo the same colors, right? So I wanted Aries to be red, like blood red, stark red, war red, red. I wanted Leo to be a shining bright star like the sun, very expansive, bright, happy. And then so what was left was like orange. And I was like, does that feel right for Sagittarius? Like, I feel like it does, but then I was talking to my grandma who's a Sag, and then I was thinking of my mom who's a Sag, and I just kept feeling like orange was the way to go, but I didn't feel like the color as much represented what I wanted to portray with the idea of Sag as the design of the color did. And I feel like Sagittarius energy is very much like the Eight of Wands. Excuse me. And so I wanted it to feel, how am I holding this? Like this. I wanted it to feel like fire, and I wanted it to feel like movement and long distance movement. So how I set it up was that here's the element of fire. Here is the glyph for Jupiter, which these are definitely showing backwards, but whatever. And then the 9 here for the natal chart placement. And then this is the glyph for Sagittarius, which is an arrow, right? So I wanted it to feel almost like this triangle was the bow and arrow. So it was pulling this back, and it's about to launch forward into a long distance travel, into a long philosophical rant, into, an expansive party night out. Whatever it was, I wanted it to feel big, but I wanted it to feel like a direct fire of action. So I wanted this to be pulled back and then released and almost like leave a trail of fire behind it. So that is why I wanted it to feel big and expansive, but also have some sort of connection to the fire element. So I did orange, like very orange, fiery. And if you stick the 3 signs for fire together, so there is orange in here, but I really wanted it to be more yellow. And actually this is making this seem more orange when it's in the plastic. So these are the fire signs. And I definitely kept that in mind too. Like I wanted each of those elements to be cohesive. Kind of like how I like when tarot decks have the suits. And if you were to like lay all of the suits out, they would have distinctive color themes. So if I did a spread for a client and like all swords came up, I would see, oh, thank you. I just had this one fall off. Like the nail polish kind of flaked off, but thank you. I love this color. I'll have to watch the playback and see. Good luck with I have to go make dragons of straw with my little boy. Thanks. Oh my god, that's so awesome. By walking my path. That sounds really fun. I'm almost done here with the signs. We only have 3 more to go. Capricorn. I had people message me, be like, man, why is my sign gray? Like, that is boring. Like, all these other signs have, like, color, and it's fun, and it's, like, why is Capricorn, like, I don't want to buy Capricorn because it's, like, it's gray. And I was like, that's Capricorn. Capricorn is one of the most depressive signs. Capricorn is... It's not about having fun. It's about being an adult. It's about being responsible. It's about doing what it takes to get to the top. It's about slow and steady wins the race, but being diligent and being responsible and having structures and being, restrictive on what it is that, is in excess. And so I really, Capricorn energy scares me. I used to think the same way, and now I fucking love Capricorn energy. I love Capricorn energy. If you're scared of it, I get it. But if you can learn how to like embrace it, it is so important to be an adult. It is so important to have says the girl going through her first Saturn return and is like trying so hard to convince herself she loves Capricorn energy. But Capricorn is, it is the mountain goat, right? Oh, how? Teach me, master. So Capricorn, its goal in life as a mountain goat, right, is to get to the top of that mountain. They know they will get there. There's no rush because they want to make sure they're doing it right. If they get to the top quickly, great. If they don't, great. Their process that they go through is that they know that they are going to get to the top no matter what because they're focused, they're diligent. So I wanted this to feel like a mountain. And so if you flip this upside down, this is upside down right now. So this would be like the bottom of the mountain, and this would be like the snow cap, right? So they want to get to the top here. This is the glyph for Capricorn. It's one of the two ways that you see it. I prefer aesthetically this way, but that's not always how people will write Capricorn. So if you're confused, that's why. Then we have the earth element here with this little dash here. Then this is the glyph of Saturn, which is the planet that rules Capricorn. And then faintly up in here, it's hard to see on camera, but it does say 10 in the top in the corner. Thank you. Thank you. See, that is so pretty. I have a Capricorn 3-year-old. That energy is a blessing. I love it. Exactly. My daughter's a Capricorn, and I can already see how her mind works. She's very particular about how she builds her blocks, and if we do it wrong, color showing wrong way, she will redo it very slowly. Exactly. And one of the things we tell, because this is often seen as a older energy, so it's like late adulthood to early, like late life energy, okay? Which is great, but when you're a child, oftentimes you feel like you know the right way to do something, and if you don't do it your way, or if you're forced in like a classroom, people don't talk about this with Capricorn a lot, but Capricorns can struggle in school, which goes against what you think for them, because everybody talks about how successful and how amazing and how much they're really great at building their own empires and things like that. But as children, they have to follow the structures that are put in place by other people, expected of them of their age. And a lot of times Capricorn children can be very rebellious because of the fact that they can't do it their way and in their own time and in their own space. So they can often fail very easily in school. Even if their goal is to succeed, it's because they're being forced to go about something in one way when they're trying to take charge and do it a different way. And also it's a very depressive sign because of the fact that it's not about having fun, it's about doing work, it's about being an adult. Also in the northern hemisphere, this is like tends to be in the darker half of the year. If you're in the southern hemisphere, it's the opposite, but because this is such a serious sign, it's serious. It's often cold, but they are emotional. They are just like any other sign. It's just that they're focused on what it is that they want and how they want to do it. I also wanted this to feel a little bit like a goat hoof. So if you kind of see here, it looks like maybe like the hoof of a goat. Maybe you don't see that, but I liked how that came to be right here and kind of looks like but I loved that it's not something that you see right off the bat, but it is technically supposed to be a mountain. So that is Capricorn. I really like the design of this one. And I also like Capricorn shouldn't have color on it to me. It is gray. It is black and white. It is like, it doesn't need color. It needs to get to work. Like, it needs to do its things. This needs to take care of its shit. And I also wanted it to be inside of, this is, I think, the only one where all of the color is inside of the structure. Like, I wanted it to be structure, borders, rules, regulations. I wanted it to have clear, defined boundaries, and the color was contained inside of that. And that's very Capricorn to me. Oh my god, I've been dying to talk about this, so I'm so glad that you guys are so nice and want to hear about it. Capricorns have a confidence about themselves that is amazing to me. Yes. And if you're not for that, they can come off real bitchy or very like hard ass. But that's your problem. I like it. Yes, Jess, I agree. And it's a different kind of confidence from Leo. Yes, exactly. Capricorns are among the cardinal signs. Okay, yeah, that was another thing I took into factor was like fixed, mutable, or cardinal, but I already explained all the signs, so I'm not going to go back and explain all that. I forgot to talk about that, but we only have 2 left, and I just showed it. Aquarius, I wanted to have fun with. Aquarius keywords are unique, shocking, and different. They want to be outside of the box. They want to be whatever it is, they want to be the opposite, right? They want to go against the grain. They want to make waves. They want to shake things up. And they're very much, they want all inclusiveness. They want inclusivity. It's one of my LGBTQ plus community signs because of the fact that they embrace anything at all. They are very much, it's different, shocking, unique. It's one of like my alien type signs and symbols. However, it is mental. It is very much communication. They are very smart. They are very processing information like we talked before, but it's almost in like an inventive way. They're like, it's like a lightning bolt. I wanted it to feel like a lightning rod could strike it and it would charge up with energy, but in like a magical way, right? So I did rainbow colored for Aquarius because I really wanted to encompass, like you can't pin Aquarius down with one color. It has to feel like it has a little bit of everything in it, or I wouldn't be doing Aquarius justice. So here is the air symbol for Aquarius. This is the symbol glyph for Uranus, which rules Aquarius. But I just wanted this to feel almost like the thing that's, I can't think of what it's called right now, the weather vane on the top of a roof that I could see like in an old movie, like the lightning striking the weather vane and it's spinning in the mental capacity like that, right? So this is at the top, right at where the head is. And then this down here is like the electrical current, like making waves, but this is the glyph for Aquarius down here. And then I wanted, like I said, I wanted it to feel very much like a little bit of every color, a little bit of the sign. So I went back and I took pretty much all the colors I had already used in all the other symbols and all the other signs. Like this was the green I used for Taurus. This was the purple that I mixed with like a little bit of Scorpio and Libra. This was like the fire signs. This was Aries and a little bit of Cancer up here. I basically just mixed all the colors that I did for the signs, but I put a lot more blue over here because it is an air and a communication sign, so I wanted it to feel a little bit more airy, but I couldn't contain Aquarius to one color because it's not, it can't be. And whatever I would try to associate with it, it would pull to the other end. So that is Aquarius. I love it so much. Oh, the 11 is because it rules the 11th house in the chart. That is Aquarius. I love, like, it's so fun. Like, I love looking at Aquarius. And you think about like LGBTQ plus, like the rainbow flag, like that is very much what I think of as well. Not to say that you have to be in the LGBTQ community if you have Aquarius in you, but it's just that idea of like the expansion of options and being inclusive is very much something that Aquarius connects to and wants to, like, everybody needs to have a voice, like everybody deserves to be unique in their own way. Like that's very much Aquarius. And lastly, Pisces. Pisces is very dreamy. Pisces is very watery. I wanted this to feel, this one was important to me to do right. Pisces can be so many different things. And I think once you start from Aries, which is a very intense and very almost like basic energy because it's the beginning, it's the very beginning, and you get all the way around to Pisces and it is so in depth and it is so much into one sign. It can mean so many different things and it's so subconscious, it's so like escapist, it's so dreamy, it's so intuitive, it's so mystical and emotional and it's so like karmic to me, but I wanted to keep it simple in the design. So here is Pisces. Here is the water element. I'm going to explain my setup here. Here's 12 for the house that it rules. And I wanted this to feel like almost like an iceberg, right? So it's like you don't, or like the depths of the ocean. So I wanted this to be like the biggest thing here was the Triton. And this would be like the water line of the ocean. And the Triton is just like you only see a little bit of it above the surface because Pisces is such a subconscious and such an under the skin, under the layers, levels type thing. Like it's very watery and emotional, and that's what everybody sees is this like light, gentle, artistic, creative, intuitive thing. But in the deep depths of the subconscious, we get really heavy and we get really mysterious, and there's things that are always hidden underneath the surface. So I wanted the Pisces sign to be almost like in the deep depths of the ocean, or deep depths of like the astral realm, which we're going to be talking about, or the like the subconscious buried down here is like our hidden resources and our power that's like kind of percolating at the bottom. So that is that. I wanted this to feel like a pond or like the ocean or iceberg, but we really, unless we see like really what's underneath, and then even then like what's really underneath here is where all of the magic of Pisces lives, is like deep down underneath here, even though a lot of the times people just see Pisces as like up here. So wanted it to be like icy blue and then deep, deep blue. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to that. Thanks for letting me talk about it. Again, I didn't mean that to be like promo. That's part of the way that I like to use color in art, is to think about it in that way. And if you were wondering like how my mind connected to the signs and connected to the design and connected to, you know, the placement of that color, that's really where I was at, and that's really what I was thinking. And I had so much fun discovering that for myself, even, you know. There was things that I knew before, once I started doing these, it was things that I knew that I wanted the signs to like incorporate. But then there was other things I had to kind of ask myself, like, what do I feel about this? What do I think about this? Like, where would I place this color? What does this sign represent? What does it tell me? And what can I, you know, do with color to explain that or to create a story? And that's the fun of, you know, that's the fun of using color in art, or even just as a magical practice. Like, even if you're not into art or design or anything like that, use color as a way to describe how you're feeling for that day, or what you want to manifest in picking out your clothes and the colors that you wear, or your makeup if you like makeup, or designing your room. It's stuff that we've been talking about, you know, forever on my channel, and especially now with color theory and opening up to all these different things. I don't know if you guys watched Shane Dawson's series with Jeffree Star. They're making, like, he's recorded over the last year his process with making a color palette for makeup, or like a can't think, eyeshadow palette and stuff. And at one point in the latest video that he posted on Friday was, you know, they saw the samples of the colors, and I was getting so charged up. I was like, oh my god, I love colors so much. I would love to do this. I would love to name the colors. I would love to create a palette and like have themes around it. And like, what if I took these and made, like, I would love to do that. That's such a creative process to connect things that you like, that you think your audience would like. As Shane Dawson, obviously this would be crazy for me to do, but like, I just think that it was so cool to watch the process of him going like, I love root beer and I'm known for root beer. How can I translate that into a color of my palette? Like, that's what I wanted to do with this astrological series of watercolors that I did. But how cool was it to watch him experience that and to learn that and to see the colors come to life? Like, he had one for Cheeto dust, you know, and he like put it on his hand and it was like the color of Cheeto dust. And I was like, that is color magic. That's it. It's the basic, it's just basic, right? And you can get as deep and esoteric or as powerful and witchy as you want with that. But he wanted to feel a way. He wanted to translate his thoughts and his connections to something. And he connected to a color, and that way he represented it, and that's what it was. It didn't matter if it was fucking Cheeto dust or what. Like, he was affected by the way that that color made him feel. And then at one point, you know, they get really like do 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 do, and he's like, Jeffrey's like putting the color palettes together, and he's like, this turns me on, like color turns me on, and they made it very like dramatic. But it's a process of like putting colors together to create a story. Like the color story of a palette is magic. Like people are doing magic to me. And when I'm creating a painting or when I'm decorating a room or whatever I'm doing, like I like the act of connecting to a color story. And that was super cool. Like if you guys want to go back and watch that video, it's an hour long and that's the third part in the series of 8. But just watching them, they were doing color magic, and it was like just really cool to see them experimenting with colors and putting it together, and then talking business as well with, you know, what sells. That shit is like my kink. Jess says Leo's confidence is kind of a center of attention kind of confidence, more of a social thing, and Capricorn's confidence is more of a personal inward kind of confidence. I like the way you describe that. Yes. Hey, you finally made it to live stream. Hey, Brianna. Just a theory should be the color of my room. Oh my God. So good. Just a theory. I love that color. Yeah. So it was just cool to see that and think that's color magic. That is color magic, and one way to use color magic. It's just cool. Like they're doing that to creatively express themselves. They're doing that to create money and financial flow. It's a business plan, but that's cool too. Why can't you use color for business and for money and abundance as long as it's coming from a good intention in a good place and you can see that it's happening? Like it is so inspiring to see somebody using color to manifest their dreams, right? That's what they're doing. They're using color magic to become successful and to have money and to have abundance and to put something forth that they feel connected with, that's a good product, that is creative and expressing them and how they connect to certain colors. It's fucking cool, right? It's so cool. So I definitely recommend you guys check that series out because it's everything boiled down into one little cool series about color therapy or color theory or color magic that is like, yeah. You should do a palette and call it color magic. Have different shades like the astrology palette and cosmic palette. Oh my God, that is so cool. I would love to do that. I would love, that would be so cool. Wouldn't that be so fun? But after you watch the series, everyone's gonna want to make a palette because you're like, oh my God, I want to do that. It's so cool. Not even, honestly, not even for the money, like seeing them come up with how they connect to colors and going through the color palette and picking that color, like, me, I've talked about this before, but me coming up with the reason why I decided to pick this color for the wall and design the wall for this, like, took me so long because I had such an idea of what I wanted energetically the room to do and like how I wanted it to incorporate so much other stuff. That it was a magical process for me to come up with this. And that might seem really weird to say, but it is. It was magic that I did. And then painting it and actually changing the energy in the room when I painted it was also magic. It was like house magic, cleaning magic. But yeah, so cool. Cool shit. I love Shane and Jeffrey. I know I'm like a big OG YouTuber fan. Like I love Jenna Marbles. I love Shane Dawson. I love Trisha Paytas. We stan Trisha Paytas. Yeah, I'm like OG YouTube lover. I think that's a good place to land. Is there anything that you guys, oh, you know what I did want to talk about actually was the homework. I did see that some of you guys posted in the Facebook group your playlist. So let me get some water here. Oh, gotta hydrate, kids. So I saw that some of you guys posted your, look at how cool this looks in my bullet journal. That was the one homework we did where we had to like automatic write for the colors. And then where is my playlist? Okay, so here is my playlist. This is how I did my playlist. So color playlist homework. I did 2 playlists because I'm a Gemini and I can't do one of anything. And there's more than one song on each playlist. But what I did was I set up, the homework was to come up with a playlist of music. So associating colors with songs. Link to the group. Brianna's the only moderator here. Brianna, do you think that you could link the Facebook group? Do you know how to do that? Can you do that? Help me. But it's facebook.com/groups/Witchy Book Club. Or if you just search Witchy Book Club on YouTube, the Raven painting I did should come up. But it's, you just enter and we all post, like, I'll make like fun little posts concerning whatever topics we're going over. I think I did pretty good since last live stream and now posting, y'all. I've really tried to keep up with that. But anybody can go live in there. Like if you feel inspired after this live stream to go live and talk about how you associate with color, like that platform is not for me really. I try to keep up with it and keep conversations like interesting, but it's for you guys. Like it's a place for you to share your homework, your thoughts, any books that you're reading. Like it is your space. I try not to approve content that isn't designated for either books or what, like a topic that we've covered or that we're covering, just to keep it kind of like on brand here. But yeah, some of you guys have been linking, and I linked my playlists on Spotify that I made, but each color, you know, you were supposed to associate with a song. And I did it 2 different ways. The first way is that I looked up all the songs with the colors. Oh, yay, thank you so much, Brianna. That's perfect. So like for the first playlist, yellow had Goodbye Yellow Brick Road by Elton John. Red was Red Red Wine. Red Red Wine. Okay, anyways. Green Eyes by Coldplay for green, you know. Orange was Orange Colored Sky by Nat King Cole. I fucking love that song. I kind of went out of order, sorry. Blue was, I had Folsom Prison Blues by Johnny Cash, or Blue Velvet by Bobby Vinton. Blue Velvet. Or Blue Moon by Frank Sinatra. Then I had Purple was Purple Rain by Prince, or Lavender by the Beach Boys. And then Black, I had Back to Black by Amy Winehouse, or Black Magic Woman by Santana. There was a lot of good black ones. White, I had White Rabbit by Jefferson Airplane. White Winter Hymnal by Fleet Fox. And then Brown, I had Brown Skin by India Arie. Oh, brown skin. No, 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 brown skin. Oh my god, I love India Arie. Rainbow Connection by Kermit. So I just, for the first playlist, I just took songs that literally had colors in them. And it was interesting to listen to those songs and to associate whether I thought that they were a good representation of that color or not. Like, for a few of mine, the color also depended on the performances too. Yeah, so that's why I made 2 different playlists, because I was like, okay, this song has the word yellow in it, but it doesn't feel like yellow. So one of them was Mellow Yellow. You know that song, like, they call me Mellow Yellow. That song does not feel yellow to me at all. That feels like a muddy, earthy, cool, like brownish, greenish, bluish. I don't even know. Not yellow. It doesn't feel like yellow. But I did it because it had yellow in this. So I did one playlist like that. Oh, red, I had also Painting the Roses Red from Alice in Wonderland. Painting the roses red, painting the roses red. I like that song. So that was one playlist. And then the other playlist I made had no colors in the song titles at all, but it was songs that made me feel like the colors. So these ones are a little bit more like, maybe not a lot of people might not know some of these songs, but for red, I had Heart's a Mess by Goyte, If you listen to that song, especially because I think the album cover had red on it, but it doesn't matter. Like that song makes me feel very like sexy, kind of aggressive. Like it's very sexy and then it goes very like screamy. It's kind of weird, but I love that song. For Orange, I had California Dreamin' by the Mamas and the Papas. I just see this like autumnal orange color in my mind when I think of the Mamas and the Papas. For Yellow, I had Hedwig's Theme by John Williams, the classic Harry Potter song. Because I just think of like yellow and like a lightning bolt, and I just think like yellow for Hedwig's Theme for John Williams. Like I just think Harry Potter, I think like yellow. For Green, there's a song called Like the Morning Dew by Laura Mvula. If you listen to, again, it's all like I have the link to the actual Spotify playlist if you guys want to listen to this and see why you thought maybe I associated to those songs. But for whatever reason, when I sing or when I listen to that song, it feels like it's right here in my chest, like right here in my heart chakra. And it calms me and makes me feel very like peaceful and earthy and grounded when I listen to this song, Like the Morning Dew. Then for Blue, I had Hide and Seek by Imogen Heap. This song is so airy to me, and there's so many harmonies, there's so many weird like things that her voice does. Like it just felt very much Blue. Oh man, my phone is dying fast, but that's okay, we are almost done. And then for Purple, I was thinking very peaceful, very like calm, and Eurielle. I love Eurielle. If you guys don't know who Eurielle is, please look her up. She's like so Celtic goddess voice. But there's this song called Sailboat of Mine, and it's like Sailboat of Mine, and it's so like mystical and like Camelot and very dreamy and calm, and her voice is like mesmerizing. It's so amazing. Like it very much feels like purple or like lavender sky. And then Black, I had a hard time with because there were so many songs that could be black. But I went with Oh So Insistent by Andrew Bird because it's very intense, it's very mystical and kind of confusing, but it's all violin and it's kind of annoying, but it's one of my favorite songs of all time. And when I listened to it thinking of Black, I was like, this is really cool to associate with Black. For White, I did The Shrine or Argument by Fleet Foxes. I really like Fleet Foxes. And it just reminded me of snow-capped mountains. I just loved it. And then for Brown, Song for the Seeker by Avriel and I can't remember what it's called. If you listen to that song, it's like taking a walk in the dirt woods. Like it is like I am a hippie in my wooden cottage, and it just made me feel very brown, very earthy, and I loved it. And then for Gray, I did Gray, and I did Brother Sparrow by Agnes Obel. So that playlist is linked, and you can listen to either of them. There's two of them. They're separate. You can listen to them if you want. And I encourage you guys, if you're inspired now and you didn't know about the homework, please make a playlist because I want to see what you guys do. I want to see what you guys, what you come up with for colors. And I really enjoyed these live streams. We'll be talking about color a lot. Moving forward from here. It's such a big part of my practice in life. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks for letting me talk about my stickers because that made me really happy. I love you guys so much. Just to recap, and I will post this in the Facebook group as well, this is our next book, Lightworker's Guide to the Astral Realm. I'm super excited to talk about this with you guys. You can get this at Red Wheel Wiser, or you can probably get it on Amazon. I think it's on Audible, lots of different ways. You could probably see if it's at your library, see if someone else you know can borrow it. Our first live stream is November 14th at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll be going over part 1. And it's broken into 3 parts in the front section. Part 1, thank you guys all so much for being here. I love you. My phone is dying, and this just feels like a good place to stop. So thank you guys so, so much. I love you. And I hope that you have a beautiful, wonderful, magical day. If you guys liked the stickers, and you do want to get them, even though, like I said, you can go to my website, samanthamenzo.com, check them out. And there is a code in the description that if you get 3, like if you get your sun, moon, and rising, or if you get 3 or more stickers, you can use the sticker trio. I think it's like sticker trio code that's in all of the descriptions of each of the listings. And you can get, I think it's 20% off your order. So that's that. Okay, I love you guys. Bye.